Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering Riot. Now, the original and most prominent Riot made his first appearance in Superman, the Man of Steel, issue number 61, that was released in October of 1996. His real name is Frederick von Frankenstein, and he stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 145 pounds, having beady white eyes and black hair. In addition to being very proficient in science, he developed a way to stick to walls, basically giving him the ability to walk up walls, or wall crawl. But his real ability is his exhibiting something called bio-fission, which makes him be able to create copies of himself at will, or whenever he's physically hit with a sufficient impact. Now, not only does this ability lend itself to him having slightly increased superhuman strength and speed, but he's known to have vast durability, particularly when he has a dozen or more of his clones running around at the same time. All of these duplicates are psychically linked to one another, and so therefore whenever force is used against one of them, it's distributed amongst all of them, making him quickly get to the point that even Superman's blows cause little damage. The only weaknesses that Riot seems to exhibit are the fact that he's somewhat insane due to him having sleep deprivation, which is understandable seeing as how he has multiple versions of himself running around. Additionally, this bio-fission has been used against him before. For example, if you were to capture him in a confined space and then continue to hit him, he can quickly multiply to the point that he's very cramped and uncomfortable, seeing as how it takes a while for him to be able to reabsorb these clones back into one another. Now, Dr. Frederick von Frankenstein came from a long line of prominent scientists in his family, with his dad putting a lot of pressure on him to excel. This overwhelming pressure one day led him to use his Uncle Hal's phase shifter to create duplicates of himself, trying to exponentially increase his workloads. This period is also when he developed the technique that allowed him to stick to any surface. But he didn't realize that this cloning process would activate a metagene that was deep down within him. And he soon noticed that he didn't need the machine to create copies of himself anymore, in addition to his face taking on a strange skull-like appearance. And like I said earlier, since he was no longer technically one person, sleep deprivation quickly set in and drove him crazy. He would begin taking on unpredictable and riotous behavior, thus his name. Riot would have his first run-in with Superman after a string of thefts at biotech facilities. And although Supes would quickly realize that any forceful impact that he had against Riot would duplicate him, he was eventually able to capture what he thought was all of this villain in a construction dumpster. Although he would later find out that the original had slipped away. Riot would later appear at Star Labs, trying to take a photon fuel sample. And once again, he managed to escape from Superman, but not from the intergang connected media mogul named Morgan Edge. He was able to capture Riot when there was only one of them in a cage. And this is when he ordered Anomaly to hit Riot through the bars until he was uncomfortable with duplicates. Doing this, he managed to convince Riot to join their Superman Revenge Squad, who would later have surprising success against the Man of Steel, being able to fight him to a draw. Despite this, the squad fell apart when the villains realized that their employer wouldn't fulfill all the promises he made. And Riot happened to use the distraction of the Superman battle to send some duplicates back to the squad's headquarters. There they would release their one copy that Morgan had locked away in a special device to guarantee his loyalty to the team. They integrated that copy and got away again. Subsequent to this, Riot would end up taking a time phase integrator that would actually let him stay together in one and get a little bit of sleep. But this was somewhat sweet and sour for Riot, because despite him being able to get a little bit of shut-eye, this would also allow him to easily be captured after his riotous campaigns. Heroes simply waiting until he falls asleep to capture him. Now, due to his powers and abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Riot a rating of 5, which is an enigmatic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.